Ahoy!
Welcome to the season 4 finale of Bottom of the Stream. My name is Adam.
Welcome, times 100.
100 films. This is the 100th film that we've ever reviewed, Nick.
I know.
What do you think of that?
Momentous. 100 not out.
It's a momentous day. 100 not out, indeed.
Raising my bat.
4th season finale we've done as well. And coming up on 2 years. I think during this week it'll be our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah. That's
April the 1st, 2019 was the first episode of Bottom of the Stream.
Here you
go. For any historians out there.
Yeah, we need like an archivist.
I think Ross is pretty much that. I think he pretty much does that. It's just unofficial and doesn't get paid for it. But then we don't get paid for it either. So, how are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, well, I'm doing it because it's fun. So,
me too.
That's
I
all
love
I
doing
need.
this. I love doing this. We have some great times. We've had some great times over the last 2 years.
Yeah, about half of them are actually in the same room.
Yeah, about half now. It's ridiculous, isn't it? A year apart, Nick.
I'm shedding a single tear.
Looks like it won't be long though. I reckon May sort of time will be good. Will be good to get back together. At some point during season 5, we're going to be in the same room.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I'm so excited. What have you been up to this week? Have you got any gossip for me?
I've yeah, but it's really boring. But I think I'm going to tell it anyway.
Go for it.
It's like
never stopped you before.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's a proper dad thing. I bought a new toolbox.
Oh wow! What's in it?
Nothing.
Is it just a box, or is there some tools?
Yeah,
in
just
it?
A box because I've not transferred.
Just a box.
I've not transferred over yet. I was kind of saving it for tomorrow as something to look forward to.
Wow, bad times.
Yeah, it's a bigger box. I've upgraded, so
is it metal? Is it plastic? Come on, describe. Wooden?
It's plastic with an array of drawers and trays in it,
nice.
And then a large cavity to store the larger items. So
I look forward to the day I can come round and see your toolbox.
I've ordered a shed as well. Oh my god,
nice.
Is getting worse.
That's bigger.
So that should be here in a couple of weeks. I can build that with my toolbox.
With your toolbox?
Yeah.
Well, if you need a hand, we're allowed to do garden meets next week.
That's
I
true.
Assume that means I'll be able to come to your garden and help you build a shed.
Yeah, you want to put a shed up?
Oh, happily. I love a bit of DIY.
Excellent. We'll dock the boat and build a shed.
Maybe we could Instagram live it or something, and the bottom of the stream builds on Instagram.
I'll vote for that. DIY SOS.
Let's do it. I think we should definitely do that. Now we've said it, we've put it out into the universe. People are going to want to see that.
Yeah, you can see us
the rebirth of the Chuckle Brothers,
hammering nails through each other's thumbs, and yeah, to me, to you.
Oh, let's please do that. That'd be so much fun. We'll just leave a camera set up, just running Instagram live for hours on end.
One word review of this shed.
Sheddy.
Bit of a wooden performance.
I look forward to that. That's going to be so much fun.
Okay, deal.
Anything else?
I don't think so. No, I'm just considering shooting angles and things now from the patio. We've got some ladders, so we could get some pretty good shots, I think.
I've got a tripod.
Yeah, brilliant.
Sorted. This is definitely happening. It's definitely happening.
It's going to be like an Arbed documentary from Community.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, all right. Shedathon 21. It's on.
I'm up for it. Let's do this shit. Been up to anything else this week, or?
No, I think that's about it. How about you?
Nothing. Literally nothing. It's been... My life's just work and podcasting now. I don't do anything else. That's a lie. I finished a computer game. I finished Detroit Become Human.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever played it?
No, but I do have it. So I think we mentioned this a bit in the Discord, didn't we, this week?
Oh, we were chatting about it in the Discord. Yeah.
Come and join the Discord. I do have that game because I think it was on PS Plus a couple of months ago. So I did get it, but no, I've not. I've never fired it up as yet.
You should. I think it would be right up your street. It is
Excellent.
So much fun. It's like watching a film,
sure,
but you just control all the decision making.
Cool.
But there's you control 4 different characters, and they're potentially on different sides of the war. I guess not even a war, but like a disagreement.
Okay. Okay. And I presume
it's
that
cool as fuck.
There's quite a bit of replayability because you can make different choices.
There's so many different directions that you can go. I finished it and literally just wanted to start it again.
Excellent.
I'm like, right, I'm just going to play this in a different style now.
It's a few years old, isn't it? I can vaguely remember it being advertised at the time.
PlayStation give it away for free to all PS5 owners who have got PS Plus. So
I see.
There was like a list of games. There's about 12 games, I think, that were given away. And that was one of them. So I just picked it up on the off chance and completed it in a week.
Oh, lovely.
It's awesome. It's so much fun to play. Definitely recommended it. There you go. Adam's Game Chat. That's not been there for ages. We've not done that for ages.
No, we haven't. What's next?
I'm replaying Until Dawn now, which is a similar sort of style. It's, again, decision making. You make the decisions for the characters while you're basically just watching what they do. So I thought, that's what I thought, oh, that Until Dawn's like this, I'll play that. And yeah, it's the same.
Excellent.
That's older as well. That's like 4 or 5 years old as well. Maybe more.
I'd try and find some time and fire that up then. That does sound
I think
it would interest me.
It will. Have you got any Netflix news?
Yes, I got a few. Shall I start?
Yes.
I mean, I think, yeah, that's fine. No problems. So a couple of movies that are coming to Netflix in April, which look pretty interesting. Trailers have come out in the last few days. First one is a movie called Run, and it comes to Netflix on the 2nd of April. I don't know how this woman manages to be in so much stuff, because she seems to have something coming out pretty much every few weeks.
Okay.
But Sarah Paulson is starring in Run.
How does she have time?
And she plays the mother of a wheelchair-bound daughter. Obviously, she cares for her, but all may not be as it seems.
Interesting.
And there may be a bit more of a captive situation going on. That is certainly what the trailer implies. The trailer is quite intense. I watched it earlier today and I thought, that does look interesting. So I think I will be checking that one out.
That does sound interesting. I will definitely be checking. Is the trailer good?
Yeah, it was actually. There's definitely a sort of a misery vibe to it, I guess you would say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm on board.
So check the trailer out. I think, from the looks of it, I think it would pretty much be up your street as well.
Interesting. I will definitely check the trailer out.
Shall I keep going?
Yes, please, because my phone has lost its internet and I can't find the story that I wanted.
No problem. So the other movie I wanted to talk about, where the trailer, which hit a couple of days ago, is The Stowaway.
Okay.
Arrives on Netflix on April the 22nd. So this is a space movie. So my wife won't watch it because she doesn't like space things. I think I've mentioned this before. It's fine with like Star Wars, Star Trek, sci-fi stuff, but not actual space things. So she won't watch like Gravity or The Martian or anything.
She's missing out. They're both great films.
Anyway, The Stowaway is a space movie starring Anna Kendrick and Toni Collette and Daniel Day Kim, and they are a 3-person crew on a mission to Mars who find that they are suddenly a 4-person crew. But things go wrong and there's only enough oxygen and supplies to keep 3 of them alive, and there's your basic concept.
It sounds fun.
Yeah, I think so. Again, of quite a tense and intense trailer, so that'll be worth checking out, I think.
Definitely. The trailer's out as well now, is it?
Yes. You can
When's
find
that coming?
both of them. April the 22nd.
Oh, not long then. Not long at all.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any from you, or do you want me to keep going?
No, I've got one.
Go for it.
Do you know who Ryan Murphy is?
Do I?
He should do.
Yes.
He's everywhere.
He does most of Netflix.
My earphones have gone off. Bear with me a second.
Okay. I'm still talking.
They've come back on. That was weird.
Can you hear me now?
That's never happened before. I can, yeah. I could hear you. It just went really quiet. I don't know what happened. Bizarre. Ryan Murphy.
Yes.
This guy. He makes a lot of TV shows for Netflix.
Sure.
He's casting another one at the minute as we speak.
What's he got? What's he doing now?
He's got a show called Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Okay.
It's obviously a biography of Jeffrey Dahmer,
I feel like we've had a few of those recently.
This is a drama series, though, and it is told from the perspective of the victims and the police incompetencies.
So is this separate to his American Crime Story stuff?
Yes.
Or is it... So it's not under that umbrella?
No, it's not. It's a separate show.
Fine.
It's a TV miniseries.
Right.
It's coming later this year. It's not. He's only just casting it, so it is going to be late this year. Do you want to know who he's cast as Evan? I'll just give the answer away. Do you want to know who he's cast as Jeffrey Dahmer?
I think it's Evan someone.
Evan Peters, the guy who's in most of his shows. It is. You're right. It is indeed.
Dave Boner or whatever his name was.
Evan Peters is amazing, though, and he'll pull that off perfectly, I reckon.
Yeah.
There's a few other names in it. Colin Ford's in it. He had his own show on Netflix last year. Daybreak, the zombie TV show.
I was just going to say Evan Peters pulled that boner off in One Division.
Very true. Very true indeed. Richard Jenkins is in it as well. He's in loads of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, it's going to be good, I think. I'm looking forward to it. Ryan Murphy's shows are hit and miss, to say the least, but I like the idea of that. I think it's a good idea. And I do like Evan Peters. It's going to be really good.
And I'm sure it'll look beautiful, as all his shows tend to.
Yeah, exactly. It's all style, no substance usually with Murphy, isn't it?
It's not an unfair allegation, to be honest.
He turned it around with Ratchet, though. That was all style and all substance. So,
mostly, I think it petered out a bit for me.
It wasn't the worst show that he's made.
No,
but not by a long shot.
Like I think I said a few weeks ago, I had the displeasure of watching The Prom, and that was an absolutely soul-destroying experience.
Yeah, definitely. I've got another bit of casting news if you want that.
Yes, please.
Netflix are making a crime movie called Havoc, which is being created by Gareth Evans.
Sure.
He signed an exclusive deal with Netflix a while back. I think we mentioned it a while back, and this is going to be the first film that he's making under that deal. Havoc, apparently, I've got a synopsis here somewhere. It says Havoc starts just after a drug deal gone wrong I'll start that again. Havoc starts just after a drug deal has gone wrong, before going on to focus on a lead detective tasked with rescuing a politician's son. However, upon his mission, the detective begins to uncover a whole new level of corruption, crime and conspiracy throughout the city that he's forced to confront. 2 people have been cast in it so far. Tom Hardy and Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a decent cast so far. Sounds quite good as well.
He's bringing...
bit crimey.
He's bringing Tom Hardy. Was Tom Hardy in that Gangs of London recently? Because that was Gareth Evans.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
So I thought that was quite interesting. That it doesn't have any sort of release date. I don't think they've even started filming yet, so you'd probably look in next year.
Yeah. He's Gareth Evans is probably most well known for The Raid and The Raid 2. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah.
Fun
I haven't ever seen those, and I've heard they're both really good, and I should watch them. I should watch them. I don't know why I've never seen them.
You remember the most recent Dread movie?
Yes.
Where he just had to shoot his way out of the tower block.
Yeah.
So they basically just copied The Raid. That was...
Right, okay. I think me and you watched that Dread movie together.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I think we went to the cinema. Yeah.
Cinemas.
Oh, I remember them.
What, cinemas?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Excellent.
That's all my news is done. Have you got... I think you've got more, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got some more.
Good.
Should we talk release schedules?
Yes, always.
Because Netflix is obviously infamous for dropping a huge wad of content all at once.
Yes, that's true.
So your series, you will get episode 1 to 10.
Yeah.
All on the same day. Whereas clearly Disney Plus have taken a different approach with some of their recent releases.
Correct.
And there are some signs that Netflix may be changing tact slightly, because they have announced this week, and I know these aren't really on our radar, but I feel it's quite an interesting story, that for the new series of their reality show, Too Hot to Handle, which, if you remember, is the show where a load of beautiful people get sent to a tropical island and then they get penalised if they kiss or fuck.
Do the naughty.
That will be released in sort of batches of 4 over every week or so. So they're not quite going 1 episode a week, but they're sort of doing 4, then 2 or something like that, which is a definite change for them.
Yeah, that's a strange way to release something.
Yeah, so there's just sort of breaking it down into smaller chunks. Now,
bizarre.
Whether that's sort of to try and get a handle on spoilers, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's definitely a change in tack from them.
Yeah, that does sound. Yeah, that is different. That's not like Netflix. That is weird.
So yeah,
I'm not sure I like the way Disney Plus do it either. I think we've got past the weekly release of TV shows now. I think it should be down to the consumer to just decide when they want to watch them.
I don't think you'll see them going back to it though, with the amount of conversation and interactions that WandaVision generated.
Very true. You can see that side of it as well. To be fair,
I just don't.
What I don't like is there are some shows on this Stars that's come out that are fully out there, but they're still releasing them weekly.
That's a bit different, yeah.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I meant. I don't mind things like WandaVision, and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show's doing the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, to have a show that's already fully out there on another service and then still release it weekly, I find is a bit puzzling.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a harder thing to get your head around.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Anything else?
I just wanted to mention a couple of bits of sad news because they're kind of related to some of the stuff that we do on here. So we're this week talking about a movie, Funhouse Massacre.
Correct.
Which is set obviously in an amusement park. And this week, unfortunately, George Segal passed away.
Yeah, that's really sad news. Really sad.
I suppose most recently is famous for playing Pops in The Goldbergs.
Yes.
Which he's ace in that role, wasn't he?
Yeah, he really was.
He was excellent. He's one of the things he's most famous for was a disaster movie in the 70s called Roller Coaster.
True.
And I just thought, it just sort of occurred to me that it's another movie set in an amusement park.
That's a tenuous link, but I'll allow it.
And then today, not but an hour ago, I was going through the socials and I happened to see that unfortunately, Jessica Walter has passed away.
Yeah, I saw that. That's bad times as well.
And she's obviously, again, most recently well known for playing Lucille Bluth in Arrested Development, which is one of my favourite sitcoms of all time. And she might be one of the funniest characters in a show that has several of the funniest sitcom characters of all time. And that's a real shame to see as well.
Yeah, definitely. Sad times.
R.I.P. to both those two.
Definitely. Thoughts and prayers.
Excellent. I've got a list we can talk about.
Okay. I love a list. You know I do.
Sure. One of the reasons that this podcast came about for anyone who is new or newish, because we probably haven't talked about this for a while, is that when we were allowed to, in the old world, get together and watch crap movies.
Yeah.
We used to love a versus movie, didn't we?
Oh, definitely.
So
still do.
I've found an article in the Guardian, to give them credit, and they have ranked the 20 greatest, as they've put it, SmackDown movies. And
awesome.
I think this is inspired by the fact that Godzilla vs. Kong is about to be released.
It's about to do big money, I reckon that. I've got a good feeling about that film.
I mean, yeah, it will do as big a money as is possible. I guess. So, do you want to talk about the 20 greatest SmackDown movies, and we'll see what's in there?
Definitely do. I wonder how many we've actually seen.
Yeah, that would be well, let's find out. So 20, they've got Ballistic, X versus Sever.
I've no idea what that is.
I think it was a computer game. So I'm going to give you some computer game knowledge, because I'm pretty sure it was like an old Game Boy game.
What's it called?
Ballistic, X versus Sever.
I'll shoot a goog while you're talking.
X is spelled ECKS.
Of course it is. That's a film from 2002, apparently.
Exactly.
Do you think it was based on a game? Antonio Banderas, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Lucy Liu might be in it.
Yeah, correct.
Apparently, according to this article, it has a 0% score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow. It was a Game Boy Advanced game.
There you go.
How random is that?
How did that get a movie made? I think it's about two assassins competing against each other.
Okay.
I've never seen that.
Never even heard of it.
I kind of want to watch it.
3.7 on IMDb.
I'm going to watch that trailer afterwards.
Okay, me too.
Number 19 is from 1971. It is Dracula versus Frankenstein.
Didn't know it even existed. Sounds fun.
Yeah, but you had all that sort of 70s, didn't you? Mummy versus the Invisible Man and all that sort of stuff. No, I've not seen it either. I think we might have seen this one. Number 18 is from 2015. It is Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf.
Yes, we did watch that, I think, at some point. Sharktopus. I don't know. Actually, Whale Wolf doesn't sound familiar, but you might.
I think we've seen Whale Wolf, and it's a dude who turns into a whale wolf.
Yeah, we 100% have seen it. Yeah, I've just brought it up on IMDb. We definitely have seen it. Check it out.
Or not.
3.2 on IMDb, and it is available on Amazon Prime.
They have put at 17 Cockneys versus Zombies.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm sure I have as well. I think it plays on like the Horror Channel or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know it is the final film of both Richard Bryars and Hannah Bachman?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
There you go.
Two big names. 5.9 on IMDb, that one.
Wow.
It is good. It's good fun, that film. If you've not
16.
seen Cockneys versus Zombies, check it out.
Zombies.
Zombies, yeah.
Number 16 is Monsters vs. Aliens. That is a DreamWorks animation.
Don't think I've seen that.
Don't think I've seen it either. So we'll quickly move on. So number 15, which is Alien vs. Predator.
Definitely seen that.
All of those are terrible. It was like a thing that fans wanted, didn't they, for years and years and years, and then the guy who made the Resident Evil movies made about 4 Alien vs. Predator films, and they were all terrible.
First one's 5.6 on IMDb. Can't be that bad.
14, Strippers vs. Werewolves from 2012.
I feel like I've seen that as well.
It's a British movie.
Did we watch that once?
I'm not sure. All I've got is a still picture, and it's not giving me a spark.
Oh no, I've got a picture as well. I've definitely not seen that, but I do want to see it.
Is it a stripping werewolf?
It's a man behind a bar in a pub dressed as a werewolf.
13 is the first of what I suspect may be a couple of sort of Japanese...
Martin Kemp's in Strippers versus Werewolves, sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Robert Englund.
Oh, really?
No way.
There
Crazy is that?
I hope he's not playing a stripper.
Yeah.
13 is Gamera versus Gyron.
That's anime, surely.
It's a 1969 monster movie.
Oh, okay.
Gamera is some version of Godzilla, I believe.
Cool. We need to speed up. We're going to use the whole episode up otherwise.
That's fine. Number 12 is The People versus Larry Flint. I just think they've put
that doesn't count, surely.
Number 11 is Freddy versus Jason.
Great film.
I remember seeing that in the cinema.
In New York.
Yeah, and I've never seen a movie with such audience participation.
It was. I always do, when I tell people about it, because I tell that story quite often that we saw that.
I don't think we've ever told it on here.
Probably not. I always liken it to. Do you remember the opening scene of Scream 2?
Yeah.
When they're all like running around the cinema and screaming and not even watching the film. It was exactly like that.
People were so into it, weren't they?
They're completely into it. It was such a good experience. It was a proper good experience. I have a fond memory of that film, and I imagine it's garbage, but I have a fond memory of that film just from that experience of watching it in New York. Yeah,
it was like a interactive performance piece, wasn't it?
Robert Englund's in that as well.
Yeah.
His name's popping up a lot today.
Number 10, we'll zip through these. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Not seen it.
Number 9, Eagle versus Shark. That is Taika Waititi's first movie.
Seen that. Great film.
Number 8, Batman versus Superman.
Shite film. Absolute hot garbage. Next.
Number 7, Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
The film that started it all.
It's the movie that influenced Sharknado.
It's the movie that started all of those sort of Mega Shark films, all of those Crocosauruses. That is the film that started everything. That should be in some sort of Hall of Fame, that film. Changed my cinema life.
It's a lot of fun. Number 6.
It is.
Billy the Kid versus Dracula.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. That's from the 60s. That was going to be a trip. Number 5 is courtroom drama and tearjerker, Kramer versus Kramer.
I just think of Seinfeld when I hear that name.
Number 4 is Joe versus the volcano.
Is that Brad Pitt?
No, it's a very young Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
That's it. I know it was somebody like that. It's supposed to be really good. It comes up on Brett Goldstein's podcast quite often.
Have you never seen it?
No.
Oh, I remember seeing it several times.
No, I don't think I have. I've heard it comes up on his podcast all the time.
Top 3. Number 3, King Kong versus Godzilla from 1962.
Okay, so didn't even know that had happened before.
This is what is... Yeah, the remake is about to come out. Number 2, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Wonderful film. Absolutely wonderful film. So what's number 1?
Number 1, I guess appropriately, is from 1964, Mothra versus Godzilla.
That's the best one, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, that's a great list. That's
best of the genre. Godzilla fights a giant moth. What more could you want?
I like that. Best of the genre, as if all of those films fit in the same genre.
I think they're referring to the Godzilla genre.
I was going to say. I think Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus should be in that. That should be at number 1 in that list. Personally.
I mean...
I think it changed the world.
It just bequeathed so many of those.
So much good stuff came from that film.
Sort of next 5-year period.
And it's a really good film.
Come on, let's be realistic.
It's a very good film. It's much better than its 2.5 out of 10 on IMDb, that's for damn sure. And that shark jumps out of the water and pulls a plane out of the sky.
Well, what more could you want?
It's the best. I'll need to watch it again.
How about wait for the 4K remaster?
You can buy it on DVD on Amazon. And it comes in a double feature with 30,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Right, okay.
How weird is that?
Of course it does.
Very strange. Right. Before we start talking about the film, should we talk about what's going to happen on the bottom of the stream over the next couple of weeks?
Yes, let's do it. Do the admin.
This, as we said earlier in this episode, this is the 100th film that we've reviewed, which brings to a close season 4 of Bottom of the Stream. The stream table by the end of this episode will be complete. Next week is Easter Monday, so we're going to have a week off. We feel like we deserve a week off, do we not, Nick?
Yeah, we're going to sit and eat chocolate.
Yes.
And drink chocolate. And melt the chocolate down and drink the chocolate and then dip some more chocolate into it.
Yeah, that's what I intend to do all weekend that weekend. So yeah, we're going to have a week off just because it's the end of the season. Normally we'd do the BOTScars first and then have the week off, but we thought because it's Easter, we'll do it the other way around. So we're going to have a week off after this week. And then next week will be the second annual BOTScars ceremony, social distance BOTScars this year, where we will give some awards out to the films that qualify from the last 2 seasons and induct 2 more people into the Captain's Gallery, I guess.
Sure.
Need to give some thought to. And then we'll come back, and we'll come back for season 5 the following week. So there'll be no episode next week. You'll get the BOTScars the week after, and then at the end of the BOTScars, we'll pick the first film for season 5. Done? Deal? Happy?
Sure. I am really excited. I've had the first go at the nominations.
Yeah, we need to finalise that.
We'll do that, and we'll get them out on the socials.
Definitely. Right. Shall we talk about this week's film?
Let's do it.
Okay, so this week it was my wildcard week. I left it till the finale for a reason, because I had found a film called Funhouse Massacre. Funhouse Massacre is from 2015. It is 18. It runs for exactly 1 hour and 30 minutes and is currently rated at 5.2 on IMDb. Stars. There's a lot of people in this film. Not necessarily all famous, but there's a lot of characters in this film.
I mean, it's not called Funhouse Don't Kill Many People, is it?
Well, there's 6 murderers and at least 8 murderees, plus a cast of a lot. Plus a really big cameo from Robert Englund is in this film. Robert Englund, obviously very famous for playing Freddy Krueger throughout his entire career. He plays the warden of the mental asylum in this film.
Sure.
And I think, in fact, I'm positive, Robert Englund would be the first person on bottom of the stream whose autobiography I've read.
Good fact.
So, yeah, it was nice to see him. It was only a cameo. He's in, the first 15 minutes? And it's definitely worth the money they've paid to get him, I think.
Yeah, I would say he's just in the pre-titles, but that is about 15 minutes.
Yeah, true. He's also top billed cast member, even though he's only in 10 minutes of the film. Second billed member of cast is a guy called, how do you pronounce this guy's name? It's Jere. Jere? I guess it's Jere. Jere Burns. He plays Mental Manny. You'll know he's probably most famous for he was in Justified.
He's got one of those faces.
He's in lots of TV shows.
You will recognise him from something.
I recognise him from Breaking Bad.
You won't be able to place him. Yeah, that's where I come from.
He plays Jesse's rehab counsellor in Breaking Bad, but he is probably most famous for he plays Win Duffy in Justified. He was in that for a long time. They're the 2 names, I guess, the 2 big names. There's a lot of big TV actors in this. There's a lot of people who have been in a lot of TV shows. The one other guy I did want to mention is a guy called Matt Angel.
Great name.
Great name. He plays Morgan, who I've called in my notes Doctor Who all the way through for obvious reasons, which you'll find out in a little while. The reason I wanted to mention this guy... I would
say nominally he's the lead.
The lead, yeah, I guess he is. Yeah. He's the lead murderee. The reason I wanted to mention this guy is coincidentally, and this is probably the biggest coincidence in the history of Bottom of the Stream, Matt Angel is in The Open House.
That's amazing.
Which was the first ever film we did. And he's now in the 100th film we've did. Almost exactly 2 years later.
I love it.
I find that incredible. When I saw it, it blew my mind that that's happened. And it's such a weird coincidence because they're 2 of the most random films. And they share an actor. And it's 100 episodes apart for Bottom of the Stream.
Yeah, there's a beautiful circuitousness to that, isn't there?
There really is, and it really cheered me up when I saw it yesterday. I've just realised I've not written anything down about the director or the writer of this film, so I'm going to do that live. Bear with me a second. That's not like me.
You were too excited to watch this.
I was, and I was right near the end of my notebook, so I was concerned about how many pages I'd got left.
Because this is so far up your street, it's lying in your bed, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a piece of me, this film. This sort of film is the reason I watch films. And I can say that before I've even seen it. It's just the title sells it to me.
Yeah.
It's directed by a guy called Andy Palmer. You won't have known anything else he's ever directed, I don't think. Probably most famous is a film called Camp Coldbrook. But again, I don't think many people will have seen it. And it's written by a guy called Ben Begley.
Okay.
Who is an actor. He's been in quite a few things. And he plays Deputy Doyle in this film. Cool.
I kind of recognised him, but didn't look into where from. So.
He's in quite a lot of stuff. But so yeah, he's in the film. He plays Doyle, the Dippy deputy. And he also wrote the film.
Good. I like it.
Yeah, me too. Me too indeed. I think that's it. Oh no, it says, sorry, I've not done my research on this, and I do apologise, it's really amateurish of me. It says based on characters and story by Renée Dorian.
Okay.
And she is also in the film. She plays the Bumblebee girl, Laurie.
Oh, okay.
So it was her idea by the sounds of it. She came up with it, and then the other guy wrote it, and then they're both in it.
Here they are.
Here they are in the film. Do you have a one-word review of Funhouse Massacre, Nick?
Funhouse. It's a whole lot of fun. There's prizes to be won.
That's the most niche reference I've ever heard. There's going to be a lot of people who have no idea what you're talking about. Anybody under the age of 25 and anybody who's
Google
not in the UK. Google Pat Sharp's Funhouse, everybody. Where does this film start, Nicholas?
It's Halloween.
It is Halloween.
I didn't realise it was a holiday movie, but it makes sense. There's a cat at my door and it's not my cat.
Oh, whose cat is it?
I don't know. It's gone. That was weird. It's white.
How strange.
Anyway. Carry on, sorry.
Sorry.
Distracted by a cat.
So yeah, it's Halloween, and we first meet a lady who turns out to be a journalist, and she's heading towards a mental asylum. Is that what we call it?
Yeah, I just put prison, but yeah, it turns out you're right, yeah.
It's a secure institute for the criminally insane. And she's a journalist, and she's come to meet the warden of this place, who is played by Robert Englund. He's just credited as warden.
Warden Kane.
Was it Warden Kane? It doesn't say that on IMDb randomly.
I
will tell you now, I have no names for any characters in this film.
I've got you covered, don't worry.
Because I've literally, most of them are in Halloween costumes all the way through, so they're just named as that in my film, in my notes.
I've got you.
Robert Englund explains that there are people in this place that even God is afraid of, which I thought was a really neat little line. I liked it. And basically, this place is, people are kept here without trial just because they're pure evil.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's gonna get past the human rights people, but
she virtually says that to him though, and he says they're not humans, they're monsters. So that's how he
sort of says, off the record, I'd kill these guys if I thought I could.
Yeah, he says I'd put a bullet in each of their heads if I thought I could. She's there basically. She's going to write an expose on it. She's going to expose him.
I was really worried because it looked like this was filmed at the same place that they filmed Deadly Detention. And I thought, like, by some kind of osmosis, it might mean that this was also as bad as that movie.
It's definitely better than that movie. And then we go on a tour and we meet all of the inmates. There's 5 inmates in this prison.
This takes like 10 minutes.
It does.
Literally just to introduce these guys.
So basically, they're all larger than life psychopathic characters, and it's brilliant. I'm just going to put it out there. So the first guy we meet,
I think this might have been if it wasn't my favourite part, it was right up there because it was literally just here's 2 minutes on this guy, this guy, this guy. Yeah, and it was just it was stupid, and I really liked it.
Yeah. So the first guy we meet is a guy called Animal the Cannibal. And he was a chef who served customers to customers, which is how they describe him.
Yeah.
Basically, he was a chef who cooked up people and served them to other people. We leave his cell, we go to the next cell, and we meet Bradford Young, who is otherwise known as Dr. Suave. And he is a dentist. Or he was a dentist in his previous life. And he used to get a massive drill and drill through people's heads.
Yeah, he would drill into their mouth and just keep going.
Yeah, and you can actually see that in graphic detail at this point as well.
Yeah, because as these people are being introduced, there's a little flashback, isn't there?
Yeah, to what they used to do. Yeah,
you get like drill cam, and and the camera basically goes through the guy's head and then turns around, and you see the dentist looking back through the hole in the guy's head.
Which is pretty much all he does in this film as well, is just drill people in the head. Next guy we meet is a guy called Walter Harris, who is the taxidermist. And he basically used to stuff humans and mount them.
And yes,
not like that.
I just want to point out that the taxidermist is played by Clint Howard.
Yeah.
He has a very famous brother, Ron. and Clint's in a lot of Ron's films, and again, he's a face that you will recognise.
Yeah, he is.
From many movies and TV shows.
Indeedly doodly. We'll go from there to meet my favourite character in this film. We meet Rocco the Clown, who is a wrestler who used to kill people in the ring quite violently. He's enormous. I think he was 6'8", I think they described him as. A great big massive clown of a man.
That's right, yeah.
He is fucking wonderful in this film. And then finally we meet a guy called Manny the Prophet, who is otherwise known as Mental Manny. And Robert Englund actually describes him as batshit crazy.
He does.
He stole my line.
I did notice that.
So that was nice as well to get one of our catchphrases in the 100th film as well. This guy is basically a man who ran a suicide cult and encouraged the biggest mass suicide in the history of the world. As the journalist is going around meeting these people, she starts to feel a little bit faint and she passes out at the door of Manny's cell. So they decide to take a bit of a break.
Yeah.
And I've made a little note here because it was quite clear what's going to happen here now. And I've put getting the best.
Clear. Just before you say that, I was going to say it's quite clear straight away that she's wearing a terrible wig.
Yeah.
And I did write to myself, I wrote down in my notes, she's wearing a terrible wig. Surely this isn't a sign of like how shit this movie is. And now quickly cotton on, no, we're going somewhere.
Yeah. I put down here, if I know horror movies, I know where this is heading. And so I've written, getting the best ever movie psycho into this movie to introduce your characters is genius. And he will definitely die soon. Yeah. That's what I've written. And in the very next scene, he dies. So they get back to his office and she has a bit of a flirt with him, doesn't she? She starts trying to seduce him.
Yes.
And then she garrots him and basically slices his neck. And that's the end of Robert Englund in this film. And he was there to introduce your characters and he did an amazing job at it, I thought.
Yeah, a couple of hours work for him.
Yeah, just one day on set, job done. He's got the best voice as well. His voice is amazing.
Yeah,
I love him so much. She kills him. She kills another guard. Or she kills a guard, and then she kills another guard. Then she pulls off this terrible wig, and she lets them all out. She releases all these people.
She sure does, and not only that, she leaves with Manny.
Yes. Why does she leave with Manny, Nick?
Well, she calls him Daddy.
Yeah.
And I'm not really clear at this point if it's actually her daddy or if it's like a weird sex thing. But
I think he
definitely
was.
Have a relationship.
Yeah,
I think he was actually her dad.
Yeah, I think he was. And then we hit the title card. We're probably 15 minutes into the film.
Yes, I would say so.
Cut from the title card, we cut to some cops, or a sheriff and some cops who have found a dead body in a motel. And we meet the deputy for the first time, who obviously is the guy who wrote the film.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting that now I know that he wrote the movie, because he definitely gives himself the best lines.
Yeah, he definitely did. He has a theory on what's happened in this murder. And he basically walks through it with the sheriff and talks through everything that he thinks has happened. And in the process of doing that, completely contaminates the crime scene.
Yeah, he sort of, again, mounts the body.
He's
got the murder weapon in his hand.
Yeah, he's gone around rubbing all the surfaces. He's basically a right dick, isn't he? He's a bit like Deputy Dewey in the Scream films. The sheriff, though, has a better theory, and she walks through what she thinks happened, and that's quite clearly what has happened.
Yeah, just before we move on, so they get a bit close to the body and pull away the fringe of the dead body on the bed, and they realise that her eyes have been sewn shut.
Yes, which we'll come to and does prove who has who's committed this crime. Cut from there to a guy he's out the back of a cafe or a restaurant or a diner. He's trying to pluck up the courage to ask a girl out.
This is Morgan.
Yeah, I call him Doctor Who because for some reason he's dressed as Doctor Who. We find out
it's
why.
Halloween.
Yeah, it's Halloween. He is a waiter at this diner and he is just out the back having his break. And then we cut inside and there's two girls inside, two waitresses. They're both dressed up as well. One's dressed up as a bumblebee and one is dressed up as sexy Hillary Clinton.
There's kind of they do a whole sort of bit, don't they?
Yeah.
While he's outside trying to pluck up the courage, there's a lot of sex noises going on.
Yeah.
And it's his colleagues, I guess, on their break.
Yeah. And then
it was quite funny actually the way it was done.
It was, to be fair. And then they actually did the Doctor Who joke. My name's Doctor Who. Doctor Who? Like the oldest joke in the history of the world. They actually do that joke, and it actually works in this film, which is bizarre. because Morgan's got a difficult customer. He's the only customer in there, and he's a bit of a dick. He doesn't like the food that he's been given. So
it's the guy from Up, isn't it?
Is it?
No.
He's landed. So Morgan takes his food back to the kitchen, and the two chefs in the kitchen spit on his food, puts it in the microwave, and give it back to him, whilst making out that it's a whole new plate. There
is a lovely close-up as he's forking this mashed potato into his mouth.
It made me feel sick.
Slimy, viscous, gelatinous snot dripping off the end of his fork, which he puts into his mouth, which is
disgusting.
Absolutely lovely.
Disgusting. Cut from there to a news story. We don't see these on the show very often. There's a news story on the news about a funhouse that's opening this evening because it's Halloween, and it's basically just an advert for this news story, this funhouse, and it's based on famous crimes from the area. So these people who work in this restaurant, there's 5 of them, I think, altogether. 2 chefs, 2 waitresses, and Morgan.
Yeah.
They decide they're all going to go. They're going to leave work and go to this funhouse and have some fun. 2 other guys show up who I don't know who they were. They must have just been friends of them.
They're just friends. We've not mentioned the chef who was dressed as Machete, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, he was a Mexican dude, wasn't he? He was dressed as Machete. There's the other chef is dressed as himself because he thinks he's a superhero. And I think that covers it. Then these 2 guys turn up. What were they dressed as? I can't even remember.
They were kind of like leathery vampires, as in like from
Twilight,
Lost Boys kind of thing.
So there's a bit of banter between all of them, but it results in them all deciding to go to this funhouse. So they pile into
Morgan. They have to do a bit of convincing to Morgan and Laurie, don't they? But they were never not going to go. Of course they weren't.
No, they were definitely going. Wouldn't be much of a film if they didn't go.
Yeah, Machete's going to drive them in his truck.
Yeah, he's got a truck, so they all pile into the back of his truck and they head off to this funhouse. And we get a little bit of a punchline because they've left this angry customer inside the shop, inside the cafe. And he's just like, "Where's my bill?" And he's locked in there on his own now. We cut from them, we cut to the funhouse, and all the psychos show up at this funhouse.
Yeah, there was a totally unnecessary scene of the 2 guys who run the maze just arguing.
Yeah, there was, to be fair.
Don't know why that was there. Anyway.
So basically, this funhouse has been based on the 6 now, psychos that we've met. Yeah. And the actors have been employed to portray these parts, but they're going to take them out and do it themselves. And they've got basically a massacre on their hands.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid, but it's a fun concept.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good fun. It's a really fun concept.
You know, all these serial killers are now in a maze, which is kind of made as a tribute to them.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny because they all go off and find their own little rooms, don't they? And, and the taxidermist is like, "Well, no, this won't do at all. These aren't my tools. This is not what my workshop looked like."
He's like, they're not even taxidermy tools.
Yeah.
The dentist's obviously got his own dental surgery. The cannibal's got a kitchen. It's just standard stuff, isn't it? But it's good fun. It's really clever how it was done, I thought. The guy's running this place, the boss, catches the regular staff out the back doing weed, and he gets really angry. But while he's talking to them and while he's telling them off, Mental Manny gets on the mic. He's got like a PA system set up. He's basically saying that they're in charge now, they've taken over. So the boss man goes back to try and find out what's going on. And then we get our first death. It's not even really a death.
So, just before that, this isn't important at all. And it bears no reflection on my enjoyment of the movie. But what was this plot point where the guy who runs the fair goes back? He meets Manny in the control room.
Yeah.
And there's some shit about a picture. Was it? So was the guy who runs the fair going out with Manny's daughter?
Yeah, I think that was what they were trying to say. Is that I think what they were telling you is there was explaining why it had been done like it has been done. And she'd manipulated him to setting up this fun house.
And then busted them all out of prison.
And then busted them all out of prison, yeah. So it's been set up. She's manipulated him to set it up in the style that she needed it to be, is basically what they were saying, I think.
Yeah, it was a bit clunky.
Rocco the Clown turns up at this point, and he meets his counterpart, the guy who's playing him, or the actor that's playing him, and he pulls his face off.
Yeah.
With his bare hands. He basically just gets his full-on hand over this guy's face and just pulls back, and this whole guy's whole face comes off.
And the guy's like reaching up to his own just bloody mess of a visage.
It was funny.
It was funny, and it was well done because he just peels it like a banana.
It does, yeah. He just pulls it off. Mental Manny confronts the boss. They have a bit of an argument, and then Rocco comes in and breaks his head open. And Rocco is now wearing the face of the other clown over his face.
Yeah, which
is a great look.
As a wrestler, they've got to wear a mask, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. My next line in my note says, "I'm all in on this. Let's get going now," because. You could see it was about to get going, but there was a point where I was thinking, come on, I really want to see this to start going now. Cut back to the sheriff briefly. She's looking through some old case files of a case that is called the Stitch Face Killer.
Sure.
And then I've written, our cannon fodder are stuck in traffic. Because the guys who we are following, who we know are all going to get murdered in a minute, are stuck in traffic on their way there because it's quite a busy little place.
Well, they're stuck in traffic. There's no other cars around, but yeah, they're in a traffic jam.
Yeah. They start telling stories about what they think is going to happen at this funhouse, and then we meet some radio DJs. Sure. They've turned up to cover the opening. They're basically going to broadcast from inside the
hosting,
maze.
Aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to broadcast from inside the maze. These are Dr. Dave and Mr. Bob were their DJ names, and they were basically middle-aged, over-the-hill DJs, weren't they? Who probably used to be famous because Animal the Cannibal meets them at the gate because he's taken on the role of like ticket collector.
Yeah, he's working security.
He's working security and collecting the tickets in. So, and he says, "Oh, I recognise you from 15 years ago." And they're like, "Oh, we've been around for longer." He's like, "Yeah, but I don't listen to the radio anymore because he's been in this asylum for so long." And then we get a montage. The place opens, and we get a montage of people showing up. Did you see the size of the car park in this montage?
No, I can't say it really.
It looked like Glastonbury. It was enormous. It was definitely a shot of a music festival car park.
Yeah, there was some really weird sort of library shots, I guess.
Yeah, that's what they were. Yeah,
but the way it was edited was quite strange at a few points. I was going to come on to it later on when we're more in the massacre part, but whenever there's lots of people, i.e. now when they're flooding into the place, and later on where people are running around for their lives, you can't hear any of them.
No, that's very true.
So they never soundtrack it with screaming.
No,
or it's got like the sound as in the music under it, but there's never any crowd noise, and it is really weird. It just took me out of it a couple of times.
It never felt really chaotic, did it? It was weird.
Exactly. And I'm sure that was down to budgetary reasons, but it did take me out of it a couple of times, honestly.
As soon as the place opens, people start getting killed, but nobody really notices because it's a horror-themed maze. And
it's dark in those mazes.
It's dark in there, and nobody's really noticing what's going on yet. And then our guys show up. Our team of people who are about to be killed show up. They all decide to go in. They all get their tickets, except for the guy who's dressed as Machete. He bottles it. He's like, "I'll wait for you in the car. I'm not in for scary shit."
He's hoping to get lucky with his girlfriend, isn't he?
Yes, that's true. But
he's waiting for her to finish work, I think.
Yeah, so he doesn't go in. That's what we need to take from this scene is that he doesn't go in. Cut back to the deputy. He's sitting in his station waiting for, just being a deputy, I guess, and waiting for something to happen.
More computer game talk. He's playing NES.
He is. He's got a NES with a light gun. It's old school, proper old school.
Yeah.
And the phone starts ringing. The station phone rings, and he gets a call from a guy who's like, "I'm at the fun park, and all my friends are being killed." But then they start laughing, and it turns out it's a prank.
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, your mum."
Yeah. So he leaves the phone off the hook because he doesn't want to keep getting prank phone calls. And then our guys get in. We go back to our crew of people who we're following.
I called them the Grill Gang.
The Grill Gang. I like it. they head off into one of these spinny tunnel things. You know, when you're walking along a bridge and the walls are spinning around you. They're on one of them.
And they walk into Rocco's room. So it's all done with sort of neon paint, isn't it? Of wrestling masks and just, it's a bit like Street, I guess.
Yeah. And the guy who Rocco's... I can't even speak. What's wrong with me? The guy who Rocco pulled his face off runs into them, doesn't he? And he's like, help me. And then Rocco kills him in front of them, but they don't realise what's going on.
No, they're like, oh, it's so cool.
It looks so realistic. Oh, it's part of the show. I've written here, there's now bodies everywhere, but nobody's getting what's going on.
Yeah, so they make their way through the room. So the dentist room is just full of bodies.
Yeah.
They walk through the taxidermist's room as he's got a victim on his table and he's pulling his intestines
literally
out.
Gutting this guy. And they even take one of his intestines as like a souvenir because they just think it's all part of the show. It's a really clever idea.
They get to the Stitch Face room and she's set up.
I don't know if we made clear that she's the woman from the beginning, the journalist woman.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't know if we made that clear or not, but
I'm not sure.
She's dressed like a female clown now, isn't she? And
it's a sort of.
It reminded me a lot of Harley Quinn. Yeah,
there's Harley Quinn.
There's a Harley Quinn. In
fact, I think when she arrived in the prologue at the asylum, she may have introduced herself as Quinn.
Oh, really?
Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's got like a classroom, hasn't she? Her room's like a classroom.
and she's set the classroom up. There are students sitting at the desks. They have their eyes stitched and their mouths stitched shut.
Yes.
As they pass her door, though, she pins someone up against the door and slits the throat right in front of them. And again, our guys are like, oh, wow, it looks so realistic.
Yeah.
How did they do it?
It's really quite clever. Our guys then all regroup after they've gone through these 3 rooms and they're like, right, we're going to split up for a little while. So
they get out. So this isn't what I thought was happening. I thought, well, that's it now. We're in for half an hour of these guys trying to escape this maze. But nope, they're through. They've made it all the way through.
So it's basically like an outside area where people, it's like a festival, isn't it? It's like a fairground. So they split up. Sexy Hillary Clinton and the jock guy go off to do some naughty in the bathroom.
That's Jason and Christine.
Thank you. The 2 nerds go to get some food.
Yeah, they've got the munches.
Yeah, I thought you were going to tell me who they were called. And then
I can later on.
And Doctor Who, which leaves Doctor Who and Bumblebee girl, who is Morgan and Laurie.
Morgan and Laurie.
I know that one. They're going to play some ring toss.
That's not a euphemism. They're at the stall.
Yeah, they are at the stall. Quick brief scene of Rocco heading back to the entrance where he locks the gate behind everybody. With a big padlock. So everybody's now locked in as well. We cut back to the Mexican guy, Machete, who is waiting in his car for the guys, and he's talking on the phone to his girlfriend.
And he's drinking.
And he's drinking, heavily drinking. And then we cut to some awkward toilet naughty. So sexy Hillary Clinton and the jock guy are doing the naughty in the toilet, and the Stitch Face killer comes in. And she's just watching, creepily watching.
Can I at this point give a bit of a tease for the BOTScars?
Yeah, of course.
Because we're introducing a new category this year.
Yeah.
And we will have an award for the weirdest sex scene.
It's the weirdest naughty award.
The weirdest naughty.
Because we've decided to not do the most misleading trailer this year because we don't really talk about trailers anymore like we used to.
Yeah. So weirdest naughty. Listen in 2 weeks to find out who wins. There are quite a few contenders.
Do you think this one's up there?
I mean, last week.
True.
We had a girl snorting a line of coke off a guy's dick. So
nothing weird about that. It's just a Saturday night.
Just before they got down to it. So it's a tough competition.
Definitely. Yeah. So she's watching through the door. She's they don't know she's there, but she is. Just after they finished, they're wiping themselves down. Literally, I know I always say that, but they literally are doing this time in the mirror. He goes off to meet his friends, and he leaves her there to. He
says, "I'm hungry. Yeah. Are you coming?" And she's like, "No, I need to clean up."
I'll be there in a minute.
I don't know what he's done to her.
And while she's there, while she's cleaning herself up, the Stitch Face killer which is a great name for a murderer, by the way.
It's pretty good.
It's a cool name. She attacks sexy Hillary Clinton, and they have a fight, like a proper fight.
Yeah.
And it goes on for a little while. At one point, I thought she's going to get the better of her here and kill her off.
Yeah, I did think for a second actually, Christina's gonna kill the killer.
Wouldn't it be an interesting concept for the first main character death to be one of the psychos? It's unusual.
I thought that's what was going to happen.
I 100% thought that was what was going to happen.
Because they have already killed like 100 people.
Yeah, and she gets her face in the toilet, doesn't she? And she's drowning her at one point. Yeah. But Stitchface comes back and she wins this fight. How does she win this fight, Nick?
She impales Christine's throat.
Yeah.
Through the coat hook on the toilet door.
Yeah. She basically hangs her up on this coat hook, and the coat hook comes up through her throat.
Yeah, she's just gargling away.
Yeah. It's bad times.
But, she's handily stored on the back of the door. So there you go.
Quick brief scene back with the sheriff. She's gone back to the crime scene at the motel earlier on, where she now thinks that the Stitchface killer is obviously behind this crime. Which
she finds all these newspaper clippings, doesn't she? And that somehow leads her to ring the newspaper. Yeah. And the guy just says, "Oh yeah, this reporter Quinn, I sent her up to the asylum. She's doing a story on the place."
Yeah. Basically, that all comes out at this point. We cut back to the wherever we are, the Funhouse, and we go back to our guys, and they're now looking for Christina. They realise that she's not come back from the toilet, and we need to go and have a look for her. So they go back into the maze, and they find her body in the classroom set, which is the Stitchface killer set.
She sat in the corner of the classroom
with a dunce's hat on.
Oh yeah, facing the wall with a dunce's hat on.
What was the jocker guy called? Dead.
Jason.
Jason finds her and he gets all upset, and then he gets really angry, and he goes, because the Stitchface killer comes in, doesn't she? And he goes to attack her. And it's at this point where they realise that all the bodies in this room are real.
Yes.
Because there's one.
And because Jason's screaming, it kind of wakes one of them up.
Yeah.
And this was probably the best bit in the movie. Because it made me go, oh, yeah, this is actually, like, I know there's a lot of great deaths in this, but this is, like, I didn't expect this. It just took me by surprise. So one of the classmates, I guess you call, just tries to scream, but obviously she's got her mouth stitched shut. Yeah. Not for long, because she screams so hard, she rips it open.
Yeah, it's minging. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So anyway, they realise that all the bodies are real, and that there's something is going down here. So they escape. They run to the entrance where they came in, and then they realise that they're all locked in as well, and they can't get out. And then Rocco the Clown shows up.
Yeah.
And he instantly kills one of the nerd guys.
Randall.
Was he called Randall?
Yeah, I think it might be the only time his name was mentioned, because it's when they're screaming, "No, don't kill Randall."
And he kills Randall.
He just picks him up and drops him on his head.
Basically, yeah, he just picks him up.
There's no gory or creative thing. He just picks him up and drops him. You can do that if you're 7 foot tall, I guess.
He was massive, this guy. He was brilliant. Quickly back to the sheriff again. She meets up with the deputy guy, and she says, "Look, we need to go over to..." The place was called Statesville Mental Asylum. She's like,
let's...
We need to head over there.
On the trail now. Yeah. Let's go and see what's happening.
Rocco then... My opinion, I believe, is this is the best death in the film.
Yes.
He kills the other nerd.
Mikey.
Basically, he chases Mikey down a little bit, and Mikey ends up on the floor, but unfortunately he rests his head on the bottom.
He trips, doesn't he? Yeah. It's the old trope of, I'm being
he does,
chased,
he trips over somebody's foot.
Turn my ankle.
Yeah, and he can't get up, and so he ends up resting his head on the bottom of a test of strength machine.
Yeah.
And then Rocco picks up this enormous oversized mallet.
It really is.
And basically caves his head in with it and gets the top score on the test of strength machine at the same time. And it's brilliant. Incredible. It's one of those scenes that you always think of. If you're going to have murder in a funhouse, this is what you're going to get. But it was brilliant.
But part of me kind of thought, that's so obvious. I can't believe I've not seen it before in a movie.
Yeah, agreed.
And then I thought, no, I haven't. That's brilliant.
No, you're probably right. I don't think I have either. Rocco then...
I will just give another tease at this point for the BOTScars in 2 weeks, because a returning category will most definitely be Best Death.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's up there. We'll announce the nominations probably on the night, if not before.
We'll get them out on the socials.
Yeah, why not? Rocco then keeps this mallet for the rest of the film, and it's just a really good visual of this massive great big clown with an oversized mallet with wearing somebody else's face. It's a great character and a great visual. This episode is going to be so long. Rocco then chases the rest of them, and he catches up with Jason. And the death of Jason was gruesome also.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about what happened to Jason?
So they've got him cornered.
Yeah.
By the gate again.
Yeah.
And it's obviously, as we said, it's locked shut. It's just crisscross chicken wire, isn't it? Morgan kind of gets over, doesn't he?
Yeah.
To the other side. Laurie's struggling. Jason's most definitely inside. Rocco catches up with him, and he just pushes Jason's head against this wire fence.
Yeah.
And
basically forces him through it.
It's like juicing an orange.
It really is. He basically pushes, it's like the scene in Cube where that guy gets cubed up. That is that, isn't it? It's horrible.
I know I sort of had a bit of a pop because apparently no money at all was spent on, sort of...
sound design.
Sound effects and sound design and all that sort of stuff. But come on, if it went on practical effects like this, I'm not sure I can complain too much.
Some of the practical effects are brilliant.
For a low-budget film, they did a really good job.
They did. When this gets going...
This one where his face is peeling back and his eyeballs popping through the fence it was well done.
It's a good really visual, well. It really is. So Laurie and Morgan get separated at this point because he's on one side of the fence, she's on the other, and they both run. Cut back to Machete, who's still sitting in his car. A woman starts banging on his window. She's quite clearly about to die and then does die.
This really made me laugh because he just points his window down and says, "Are you dead?"
Hello, Mom? Are you dead? It's so funny. But that kind of alerts him to the fact that something is going wrong here as well. Cut to the sheriff and the deputy there at the asylum. They found all the carnage that's gone on there. This is the first time anybody's been there, obviously. And the sheriff quite quickly realises that the prank calls that the deputy was getting from the funhouse were genuine. And so they were like, right, we need to get over to this funhouse because some shit's going down there, obviously.
Sure.
We don't cut away from them. They do literally turn up at the funhouse straight away.
It's one of those, how close is the funhouse to the asylum?
Absolutely. Morgan obviously is out. Remember, Morgan got out. So he meets up with the deputy and the sheriff. And
yes,
the deputy shoots him in the arm.
Yeah, that was a bit of a lull as well.
It was quite funny. So he's like, don't shoot. And the deputy's just really trigger happy and he ends up shooting him in the arm.
And the sheriff, to be fair, she says, "What are you playing at?" I didn't say shooting.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? You are a moron.
So Morgan sorts himself out and then he tells them what's going on at the funhouse. And the deputy's like, so we're going to go in there and take on 6 serial killers with no backup.
They just give Morgan a gun.
Yeah, they do. They just give him one. They're like, you can be the new deputy.
You're in. You're deputised, yeah.
And then the Mexican guy shows up as well. And he just as the deputy says, we've got no backup, Machete turns up.
He says, this was the funniest bit. He had 2 golden lines here. Because he gets out his truck. You do the pan up the body. And he just says, Machete does the cutting. And then it cuts to the Deputy Doyle, and he just says, "Is that the real Machete?" And it really made me laugh.
It was a good little line. Cut back to the dentist. We've not met the dentist, Dr. Suave, for a while. Bumblebee girl, Laurie, is in his room, and he manages to capture her while he's working on another guy, and trying to murder another guy. And eventually they overpower him, don't they?
They do.
And eventually they manage to kill him. The dentist
She puts a scalpel in his ear.
Yeah, and then hits him around the head with a tray.
Yeah. And he falls onto a gas canister and the scalpel just
goes all the way in. So we've lost one of our psychos. Dr. Suave is dead already. cut back to the two DJs, Mr. Bob and Dr. Dave, or whatever they were called. And they're still broadcasting. They have no clue what's going on. As far as they're concerned, this is just a funhouse horror maze. Until Mr. Bob gets murdered by Mental Manny, who turns back up.
He does. He just snaps his, just walks up to him and
snaps his neck. And then, I've forgotten the guy's name. I'm just going to call him DJ Dave. He also gets murdered because he realises that Bob's just been murdered. And he's like, Bob, are you okay? And then...
Yeah, the crowd are just thinking it's part of the show.
Oh, they all think it's all part of the show all the way through this. And then Manny gets the microphone and basically forces it down his throat.
Yeah.
And kills. So both the DJs are dead as well. Manny then gets on the microphone, the other microphone, and he basically tells the crowd that whatever they're seeing here is real. And
he's starting to get frustrated because they don't believe
it. Yeah, and nobody's like scared. Nobody's running scared or anything. It's quite funny. And yeah, Manny's like, this is all real. What you're seeing is real. And then it begins. And
he's like, we've killed loads of people. Seriously.
Yeah, there's loads of people who are dead. Why have you not spotted this? And then a killing spree starts because he brings out all the other psychos that are still alive. And we get a massive montage of grisly murder at this point.
It's just slaying.
There's bodies everywhere. Rocco manages to pull someone's head clean off.
Yep.
Literally, it's so good as well because he squeezes this guy's head and you can see it squeezing while the guy's screaming. And then it just pops off. It's brilliant. And there's obviously there's a fountain of blood that pops out this guy's neck. Stitchface, she also hacks off a couple of heads. And
she's just going around decapitating
people. She's got two blondes, hasn't she? She's swinging them around like bloody cheerleader pom-poms.
Yeah.
The cops turn up. Sheriff and Morgan turn up. They start getting people out. They manage to find a way out.
Yeah, they've like dug a bit of a hole under one of the fences.
Yeah, so they're getting people through there. Yeah. And then Rocco the Clown shows up again. Rocco, at this point, he does take a knife in his back, doesn't he?
Yeah, machete
stabs him in but he doesn't take him down even slightly.
No.
And they all manage to escape from him. They get away from him. They bump into the taxidermist.
Yeah, they end up hiding in the taxidermist room, and then just as he's sort of wheeling his next victim in.
Yeah. And the deputy shoots him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then throws up everywhere a couple of times because he's never killed a man before. We cut from there to the sheriff. I've gone over that bit quite quickly, but there's a lot of carnage going on in that part of the film.
Yeah, there is.
So basically, it's chaos.
Yeah, the sheriff's on their own. She's in the funhouse. The other group decide to split up.
Yeah. So everybody's they're all in teams of two, aren't they?
Yeah. The sheriff's on her own. Morgan goes with
Machete. Yeah. And Laurie goes with the deputy.
They're going to chase the chef killer.
Yeah.
And Laurie goes with the deputy.
Because they're going to try and kill the Stitchface killer.
Yeah.
And the sheriff's gone after Mental Manny. And because there's a quite good line from the deputy because they're like, what happens if we run into Rocco the Clown? And he's like, let's just hope we don't. I thought that was quite good. The sheriff catches up with Mental Manny and she actually shoots him in the leg.
She does.
Which causes the Stitchface killer, who we know is his daughter, to go after her. So she's now chasing after the sheriff.
They've found themselves upon this like walkway, haven't they?
Yeah. And Manny says to the sheriff, "You look so much like your mother." And I'm like, "Ooh, interesting." And then her final line to him is, "Relax, Dad, it's only death." And then she shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
So, are we supposed to believe that she was his daughter as well?
She was in the cult.
Yes.
Whether he's literally her father, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, but
is the Stitchface killer a sister? They seem like they have the same. No, I don't. They seem like they have the same dad, but maybe not.
I don't necessarily think that. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter in the slightest.
They were both in the cult, is what.
Yeah.
You know.
So Manny's dead, who is the ringleader. Morgan and Machete have caught up with Animal the Cannibal. They have a bit of a fight with him in his kitchen set, and he manages to get his face grilled on a hot dog cooker.
Yeah.
And that kills him. They hold his face down until his face is cooked, basically.
Did you notice on the hot dog roller it was just full of fingers?
Yeah, I did. There was no hot dogs on it. It was just fingers.
Yeah.
So he's dead. So we're running out of psychos at this point. Because also the deputy has accidentally bumped into Rocco the Clown. And he's like, and he says something like, "Oh, I knew it'd be me that bumped into him." So he takes a shot at him and he takes him down with one shot. And I'm like, I loved that character and I quite like the way that he's just died really easily. But that was quite good.
He had been stabbed in the back.
Yeah, he had, yeah. I just thought that was quite a nice little scene. So we've only got, the only person left alive is the Stitch-Face Killer. And we've got a girl three-way going on. All-girl three-way, because the sheriff and Laurie and the Stitch-Face Killer have all met up with each other.
Yeah, so they're still on this walkway and they're all having a scrap.
They're all having a scrap. And it ends with the sheriff and the Stitch-Face Killer killing each other.
They both stab
each other at the same time and fall into a pig pile on their own.
Die in each other's arms, basically.
And we're done. They're all dead. So the survivors make this the morning now, isn't it? It's the next morning. The lights are up again. The survivors.
Yes, the smoke is clearing. I guess
the survivors all make their way out of the funhouse back into the real world, and there's a load of cops outside. The backups finally showed up, and so they think they're saved. They think they're rescued, and then Rocco turns up for one final kill because he turns up. He grabs Morgan, the guy who's dressed as Dr. Hill, and basically kills him with a backbreaker. Breaks him in half over his knee.
I was genuinely shocked by
I was as well.
Because I thought, not by the fact that there was a final scare and he turned back up. Obviously, that's going to happen.
Obviously.
But I wasn't expecting Morgan to just get bumped off like that.
Just so easily as well. He just picks him up and breaks him in half.
He's been the lead all the way through this. Yeah, just totally nonchalant. Done with him.
Yeah. I mean, we are coming up to the end of the film, but it was surprising. You're right. And so that everybody hits the deck because...
Never speak of him again, sort of thing, wasn't it?
Everybody all the survivors hit the deck because they expect the police to start firing on this clown. And nobody does. The police are just standing there like dumbstruck. Yeah. So the deputy's like, fucking shoot him, what are you doing? And they still don't. So he gets up and he grabs a shotgun off one of the guys and he point blanks Rocco with a shotgun in the face. Then it's basically the cleanup, isn't it? So it turns out the sheriff isn't dead. She is being put in.
Laurie's
sitting in an ambulance,
sitting in the back of an ambulance.
Yeah, getting patched up.
Just been checked over, and then they wheel the sheriff in.
Yeah, she's on a stretcher, on a gurney,
a stretcher,
and so they put her in the same ambulance as Bumblebee girl, Laurie, and it drives off. And as it drives off, it becomes apparent that this is not the sheriff. This is the Stitch-Face Killer.
I've got a bit of a bone to pick with this because I don't think it was apparent, and I think they pulled a massive cheat here.
Do you reckon?
Because, I felt so. Because, so they're in the ambulance, and Laurie notices that a blade sort of slides down the sheriff's
sleeve,
wrist and into her hand. And she screams.
Yeah.
And then the film cuts to black.
Yeah, that's the end of the film.
There's a couple of credits, but not very much. It's literally only like 10 seconds.
Yeah, there's two of them.
And then the film comes back up again.
Yeah.
The ambulance has crashed.
Yeah.
And Stitchface comes out of the ambulance, pulls Kate's face off, and skips out over into the field.
Yeah.
The reason I think they cheated is because when the body's wheeled into the ambulance, it's clearly just the actress who plays the sheriff. It's not the Stitchface wearing her face.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They've bypassed that rule just to try and make the shock, and I felt a bit cheated.
Yeah,
I would have preferred it to have been obviously her when they wheeled her in.
It should have just been her in the sheriff's clothes, and nobody noticed.
No, she can have her face on.
Yeah. But obviously,
it's clearly her wearing her face. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. That's fair enough.
I just thought it was a bit of a cheat, to be honest.
So
we're here to be picky, aren't we?
We are indeed. So the film ends with the Stitch-Face Killer skipping off into the sunset. Did you see the second post-credit scene?
No, was there another
There's
one?
a second post-credit scene. It's literally right at the very end of the credits.
Okay.
I wouldn't have known it was there if I hadn't read. As the credits were rolling, I was reading IMDb trivia, and it told me there was the next second one, so I left it going. We cut back to the funhouse, and there's loads of body bags all along the floor. And suddenly one of them gets up, screams, and rips itself open, and it's Rocco. He just basically rips himself out of a body bag. Even though he had his face blown off point blank range with a shotgun, he survives. And then the film ends.
Okay.
What did you think of my wildcard pick, Nicholas?
Hey, look, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. It's a lot more. I don't say. I don't know if clever is the right word, but it had a lot more about it than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
be. It's stupid, but it's not as brainless as I thought it would be. And I had a fun time.
Yeah, definitely. It's so much fun.
There's a lot of creativity here.
Yeah, there's a lot. The practical effects are brilliant. There's a lot of creativity. There's lots of good, fun deaths. All of the characters are interesting. They're all played well. The guy who played Rocco, that character's brilliant.
He was the standout, and he had a lot of time to shine, I guess.
Definitely. I suppose the only other film that we've ever really seen that you can compare it to is probably Murder Party. It's very similar kind of
in terms of
style and gore and budget, probably. But it's so much better than that was.
This is what Deadly Detention wanted to be.
Yeah, probably.
That's what happens when you do a film like this badly.
Yeah, definitely. This film is a piece of me. I will guarantee you that is not the last time I watched that film.
Oh, I don't doubt it for a second.
Absolutely brilliant piece of film. It's just everything I enjoy in a horror film. It was brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it. I was disappointed when it ended.
Yeah, I had a fun time.
Really good fun. Do you want to talk stream table for the final time?
Let's do it. Let's complete the set.
Let's complete the stream table. What sort of position in the table are we looking at this week, do you think?
I'm not really sure. Are you going to do the whole thing?
Do you want me to run through the whole thing?
I suppose we have to.
I suppose we do, yeah.
Last one.
So there's currently 24 films in this. We need to put in the 25th. So at the bottom of the stream currently is Swiped. 23rd is Aerials. 22nd is Dark Light. 21st is Malevolent. 20th is Life Force. 19th is Deadcon. 18th is iBoy. 17th is Red Dot. 16 is White Girl. 15 Results. 14 is Hungerford. 13 is Shimmer Lake. 12 Would You Rather. 11 The Discovery. And then we get to the top 10. The top 10 is currently Pottersville at number 10. Number 9 is El Camino Christmas. Number 8 is A Silent Voice. Number 7 is Alex Strangelove. Number 6 is Catfight. Number 5 is VFW. Number 4 is The Lost Bullet. Number 3 is Anna and the Apocalypse. Number 2 is The Plagues of Breslau. And still holding its place at number 1 since episode 6 of this season is Caliber. What are your thoughts, Nick?
I think it's
I'm really
around. I'm just debating. Does it squeeze into the top 10?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think it's around there somewhere for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I'm higher than that. I currently am at somewhere around 4th and 5th.
Okay. Interesting.
It's somewhere between Lost Bullet and VFW for me.
Okay. That's interesting.
That is interesting. So, we haven't been this far apart in a long time, to be fair, and it's a film that we've both enjoyed. But this is the problem when we get to this stage of the stream table, which is why we decided to cap them at 25.
Yeah, and yeah, you don't take my me being further apart from you, and I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it because I really did enjoy it.
I knew I knew I'd be higher on this than you are. I was expecting that. I wasn't expecting to be this far apart.
Yeah, it's we might have to go film
Let's
by
go
film from 10 upwards.
Film by film from Pottersville. So Pottersville is 10th.
Yeah, I think I'd have it above Pottersville.
Definitely better than Pottersville. El Camino Christmas is 9th.
I did like that. I think I'd have this above that, though.
Me too.
Because this was fun times.
Yeah. This is a difficult one to compare it to. Silent Voice. There couldn't be two different films.
I really enjoyed The Silent Voice. I think it's
whatever happens, The Silent Voice is ending in the top 10 of the stream table. And it thoroughly deserves to be in there.
Yeah, and I think I quite liked El Camino Christmas, but from A Silent Voice onwards, I think these are my hard recommends.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
And it's a tough film to watch, but it's really worthy, and it's really... I'm so glad I saw it.
Yeah.
And that was Ross's wild card.
It was, yeah.
For me, I've said before, I tend to lean towards what did I have more fun watching. And I'm not saying this is a better film than Silent Voice, but I think I want this above it.
I agree. I think that, like you said, the stream table was all about picking a fun film and a hidden gem on the stream on Netflix, and I think it's better. I think it's maybe not a better film, but it's definitely more of a hidden gem, shall we say. Which brings us to Alex Strangelove.
This can go above Alex Strangelove.
Yeah.
I'm just drawing this out. At this point, I'm just drawing this out for you to, at which point are we going to have an argument, I feel.
Okay, cool. Cat fight.
And here we go.
This is a better film than Catfight, and it's more fun.
Catfight is a better film than this.
Nah.
And it's more fun. I love Catfight.
I know you
I
did.
thought it was amazing.
Can we park Catfight for a minute and just talk VFW?
Okay, fine. Yeah.
What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so they're a bit more comparable, aren't they?
Yes, that's why I wanted to do it.
So VFW is a lot of blood and guts. It's from dusk till dawn. It's a massacre film.
Yeah.
It's a revenge film. It's grittier than this. It's a better film than this.
Yeah.
If you're asking me which one am I watching, Funhouse Massacre or VFW, I think I've said before, I can see myself going back to VFW at some point. And a lot of it is because it's got a lot of nostalgia from that old crew of guys who are in it. I can't quite put this above VFW.
I agree. I would also go back and rewatch VFW. Same as I would rewatch the Funhouse Massacre. I will never rewatch Catfight. That's taking nothing away from Catfight. It is a good film and it's fun. But there's no reason for me to go back and rewatch it.
I think I'm formulating an offer in my head.
Go on.
So I will agree to put Funhouse Massacre above Catfight.
Okay.
If I place in my back pocket for 2 weeks' time for the BOTScars, if I choose to use it, because I might not need to, we might agree all the way through, a veto for an award.
Oh, that's a bargain. Okay, I will agree to your terms, but it can't be used on the top award, the shiniest gem.
Okay, deal. Deal, I accept.
I think I'm happy with that as well. I think VFW is a great film, and this one is either side of it, so I'm happy with it going below it. There's, like you said a minute ago, the top 8 or 9 in this are brilliant films and a whole strong recommends. And I'm just happy for the Funhouse Massacre to be in there. So that puts it at 6th.
If you like this sort of thing, you will love this movie.
Yes.
I had a real good time, and this is not my sort of go-to genre of choice. But it's really fun.
It's 100% my go-to genre of choice, and it's a really fun example of that genre as well. There are lots of like stupid slasher slaughter films out there. This is a really fun example of that genre of film, and I can't say much better than that. So I've seen a lot of this type of film.
That's fair enough. So that's where it's going.
So 6. Yeah. Do you know what that means?
Awesome.
It means that Caliber has won the stream table for season 4. And
well done.
That also means that Sam Mulholland, our Patreon, has won the wildcard race for season 4 and has also won the stream table, which has never been done before. So I think we should give a big congratulations to Sam. He played his wildcard perfectly, and he chose Caliber, which is an incredible piece of film. So
yeah, very, very well.
Congratulations, Sam. We'll be sending you something out in the post, I would imagine. I don't know what it will be yet, but it'll be something random and weird. I guarantee you.
It was run very close a couple of times, but did enough to hold on.
It did.
So.
And Caliber is a great piece of film. There's that one scene in Caliber that won that. That one scene won this stream table for it.
I think it's two. I think it's
maybe
two.
two.
There's the thing that happens, and then there's the very last film and the very last scene in the movie.
Yes,
it's.
But the thing that if the thing that happened didn't happen, that wouldn't be number one.
Sure.
Very well played, Sam. We'll send you something out in the post. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. It'll be something weird, but look out for it. We're going to turn the table on this film somehow.
I mean, I think you can, but I don't think we're talking sort of a huge turning of the tide, are we?
No.
It knows what it is and it does it well.
I've
like I said, a few of the minor criticisms that I had that sort of took me out of it. I think, if anything, as good as that introduction scene was, and I did really like this is this guy, and you had the flashbacks.
Gives a bit more of that.
I could have gone straight from that. Yeah, maybe a bit more of that, and then let's go straight into the Funhouse bit, to be honest.
Yeah. You needed to meet the characters that were going to get killed, though, didn't you? So.
Yeah, but
I have an idea of how this becomes a better film.
Did we? They all died. So.
They did.
Go on, then.
Did they all die?
This is your...
No, Laurie didn't die, did she?
Well, I presume she did, in that ambulance.
Of course, yeah, no, you're right. They did all die. The only way I think you can make this a better film is to make this the 7th film of a series.
Okay,
I want the backstory film.
The Funhouse Massacre cinematic universe.
Yes, I want the backstory film for all 6 of those characters. Make me a film about all of them, and then bring them all together for the finale.
So this is like the Avengers.
Yeah. I want the Funhouse cinematic universe. You could easily make a film.
I don't know if I want a 90-minute film with Clint Howard as the taxi.
There's a couple you're struggling with. The Dentist as well would be an odd one, but it's doable. There are weirder films out there, but there's definitely a film in Rocco. 100%.
Give me a short film or an anime series, and I'm 100% there.
There's a film in Rocco. There's a film in The Stitch Face Killer. Definitely, and there's definitely a film in Mental Manny. Maybe the other 3, maybe not, but I want a full-on 90-minute backstory for all of these characters, and then bring all those characters into this film. And
you can have too much of it.
No, you can't. But the trouble is, if that is going to be the finale of those 6 character arc, then you can't have any of them survive at the end, and 2 of them survive at the end of this.
I mean, I like your ambition though. That's not just a turn in the tide. We're making 7.
Turning the tide is about how you make this film better. You make it better by putting 6 films in front of it. That brings us to the end of season 4 of Bottom of the Stream. How do you think this season's gone, Nick?
Yeah, I think pretty good. I think, like I say, the top 8 or so are really good recommends for me.
The bottom 7
we've seen some.
Dross.
Everything.
The bottom 6, right? Everything under iBoy is shocking. I mean, I know you don't like iBoy, but there's a gap. There's a definite gap between iBoy and Deadcon.
Oh yeah.
Between iBoy and Deadcon, there's a huge gap. And the bottom 6 are, when the stream table's bad, it's really bad. But when it's good, it's really good. And the top 8, even the top 10 films in the stream table are all really good films. Maybe even 11. If you go to Pottersville, everything above Pottersville is a good film.
I liked Pottersville. Yeah. It's a weird Christmas movie, but it's I got something out of it. I mean, I will never ever forget Aerials.
True.
What an experience watching that.
Definitely.
I'm sure some of these will come up in the
what we'll do a rundown of it during the BOTScars, and we'll let it sink in a little bit. Let us get our head around what happened in this stream table. We'll do a bit of a breakdown of it during the BOTScar ceremony, I guess. And then... Yeah,
so that our award ceremony will obviously cover, because it's been a full
season
year,
3
so that
and
will
season
cover
4.
the last 2 seasons that we've done. So, yeah.
So, like I said at the beginning, there will not be an episode of Bottom of the Stream next week. You can have a week off. We're going to have a week off. The BOTScars will be the week after. And then we'll return the week after that for season 5. Crazy.
I know. We'll be going to... Yeah, we're at school as a podcast.
Definitely. So don't miss us too much. In the meantime, while you're waiting for us, go and check us out on Instagram. You definitely check us out on Instagram because we're going on Instagram Live to build a shed at some point. So
yeah, we'll let you know.
Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. Facebook.com/bottom of the stream. The website is bottomofthestream.com. On there, you will find every episode we've ever recorded. You will now find completed stream tables, and also last season's BOTScars awards are on there, along with the Captain's Gallery, which we need to think about as well. This Patreon. Check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/bottom of the stream. For a couple of quid every month, you get so much good stuff. You will get some extra bonus episodes. Sometimes the episodes go out early if I can get them up in time. There's stickers. We can send you stickers. We can do whatever you want, really. Nick writes a wild card every month. That's awesome. And if you come in at a certain level, you'll get a wild card and you'll be able to pick a film that we do on the stream. And also check us out on Discord. Discord is a really good, fun platform at the minute until Microsoft kill it. And definitely come and check us out in there. We're going to have some fun. We have a lot of chats in there. It's good times. I waffled a bit then, but I'm excited.
That's fine. I've got very little battery left, but that's all right. We'll
Quick.
be fine. Just like to be a bit risky, so I don't know why I'm waffling. But the other thing you can do that really helps is to leave us a review anywhere that you can review podcasts: Podchaser, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any app that you use to listen to us. Do you know what you could do?
What?
Create a maze for us to wander through, and the prize at the end could be that review that you have left.
Love a good maze. So yeah, do that, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for the second annual BOTScars Awards. It's going to be fun times. Cheers. Bye.